What's going on, fam? This is a King LiKuiD show message, and I am your man, King LiKuiD. That's LiKuid. The K for the king, not the Q for the queen. And on this message, fam, Amber Guyger. Now, I know many of you have been tracking the news as far as Amber Guyger. I wanted to wait before I put out a message because I actually wanted to see what the overall outcome was going to be of the Amber Guyger case. For those of you who are not familiar with the Amber Guyger case, Amber Guyger is a former Dallas police officer. She was fired in the aftermath of murdering Botham Jean. I'll leave a link down in the description box to an article that I'm going to talk about here. But it's been national news. Pretty much a white police officer, a white female police officer kills a black man in his apartment sitting on the couch while he's eating ice cream. Y'all know how it is, fam. In the system of white imperialism, these white imperialists feel that they have the right to murder black people with impunity and not suffer any consequences. Well, that system, that paradigm, there's been somewhat of a change to that. Somewhat, just for this. I'm just gonna come off top and say Amber Guyger is pretty much a casualty of white imperialism. She really had no power, no real influence. She was just a part of the Dallas Police Department. She supported the SWAT team and all of that. So now I am reading from the Dallas Morning News. In the aftermath of her being convicted of murder, she received a sentence of 10 years. And the Dallas Morning News pretty much breaks it down like this. This is the headline from the Dallas Morning News. Remember now, for those of you who have not been following the Amber Guyger case, she murdered Botham Jean in cold blood, okay? Let him die on his floor in his apartment. Let him bleed out after she shot him in the chest. She went outside after killing him, and she was on the phone the whole time. And not once did she go in to help and save this man's life, okay? In the aftermath of that, she has received 10 years in prison, all right? I know I mentioned the headline, but I want to preface this for y'all before I even get into this article, all right? So, she goes in, kills him. I already explained to y'all how, pretty much how he died. She didn't lift a finger, no CPR, no nothing. She was just concerned about losing her job, and she was just concerned about she messed up and she made a mistake. It was all about her and how she was going to be impacted. To hell with the fact that Botham Jean is dying on the floor. That was not important to her. So she gets 10 years in prison, all right? And fam, y'all know 10 years for murder is BULLSHIT. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. But let me go on. Let me get into this article here. So, Dallas Morning News headline reads, "I forgive you. Botham Jean's brother hugs Amber Guyger after she gets 10 years in prison." Now, fam, I want y'all to pay real close attention and dig what's happening with this right here, man. The white imperialist media outlet Dallas Morning News, whenever there is a black who gets a black man or a black woman who gets convicted, who's charged with something, murder, drugs, how often do you hear the people who have been wronged, whether it's they've broken a law or some company that they've done something against or something that's been perceived that a black person has done, these white imperialists never say, "I forgive you." Think about that for a minute. They have rained down otherworldly demonic carnage on black people in this part of the world for the last 500 years. And I forgive you. The reason I mention this, fam, is because this is another white imperialist tactic. You need to pay attention because these media people, these white imperialists, they look at Twitter, they look at the internet, they know what people are talking about and all of this other kind of stuff. But see, this goes back again to why it's so important to have a psychology, a mentality of black empowerment. Because when you have a psychology of white imperialism, especially if you're a black person, something like this happens, your brother, your son, your father gets murdered in cold blood, and you say, I forgive you. That's not justice. Just like 10 years for murdering somebody in cold blood, an innocent man, a good man, 10 years because he was black. I'll point this out to you, and I'm gonna leave a link for this story too. Mohammad Noor. Now that was a case of, that seemed more to me like accidental shooting. He's in a dark area, there's somebody moving around he can't see, he's trying to case an environment, right? He gets 12 and a half years. Amber Guyger goes to Botham Jean's apartment, walks in and shoots him when he's in his home. And she only gets 10 years. White imperialism is real, family. It's real. And you're seeing it right now. Okay? Both within the system and I would say the Jean family. Now, I don't blame the Jeans. I'm not attacking the Jeans because I understand the nature of us as black people. Okay? We as a people are probably the best definition of humanity there is, even though there is a great amount of effort, billions of dollars spent every year to make it look like we're at the bottom. But I just say this, from a humanity, morality, and spirituality perspective, if black people are at the bottom, show me the example where black folks have gone and kidnapped other people and put them through the hell on earth that black American descendants of slavery have dealt with here in America. You can't find any. You won't find it. Okay? So I want to commend the Jean family for their superior morals, but at the same time, this whole Christianity bit, loving your enemy and turning the other cheek, no, that's not justice. That's injustice. Now, let me say this, fam, because some of y'all will say, well, if you don't forgive, you can never be free. If you just hold on to that, then that person can control you. I did not say that I don't believe in forgiveness. You never heard me say that. But what I believe in is forgiveness is like trust. It must be earned, not given away. You want my forgiveness, you will earn it. So in the case of Amber Guyger, all right, okay, Amber, after you do your 10-year bid, right? After you come out of prison, after you've gone through all of that, then I will maybe consider it, maybe, but not really, because I don't think justice has been served. She needs to be in there for 25 years. That's what she needs to be in, 25 years to life. That's what she needs. Because we know if it had been any of us, we would not have been given the time to cry on stage. Did the officer in Minnesota, the black officer in Minnesota from Somalia, Mohammad Noor, did he get 5 minutes to cry and break down and try to hustle people's sympathy and emotions? No, he did not. And I understand Amber Guyger is a white woman, so we've got to protect evil, demonic, vampiric white womanhood. I understand that. Okay? So, family, this is another example of white imperialism. Yes, the cop got convicted this one time, but I do not want us black people to fall into the trap that we have always fallen into for centuries, where we've never gotten anything, we don't get nothing, and then the white man gives us some bullshit and says, well, here's something now, you're getting something, right? No, you're not giving me what I am owed and due. Kind of like with reparations. Or we're not going to touch the subject of reparations, but we'll give you Negroes, we'll impeach Trump. Won't that make you happy? No. Because the wealth gap, the racial wealth gap is still going to exist once Trump is gone. So fam, I'm not too surprised by this, but it's just another example that white imperialism is real, and we need to stay the course towards black economic empowerment. That's what it's time for, okay? Because another reinforcement where a black life is worth less. A black man's life is worth less. So the system tells you, hey, your brother, your father, your son, his life is worth less. And then in the aftermath of the system brutalizing and victimizing your family once more, you tell an agent of the system, Amber Guyger, I forgive you, when neither the system nor Amber Guyger has done anything to earn your forgiveness. See, family, this is one of the reasons why I'm anti-religion. I am not anti-spirituality, but I am anti-religion, because religion allows you to be put into a position where another Dallas police officer can come and kill one of your family members, and they'll get a bullshit sentence, and then once again you'll say, I forgive you. I guess you'll just keep forgiving them until they kill all of your family members. Again, I'm not disparaging the Jean family. I understand that they are Christians, but black folk have been forgiving our enemies for 500 years. How much further along has that gotten us? Black folk have been praying for our enemies for 500 years. How much further along has that gotten us? And I'll end by saying this. The Christianity that you practice, the Jesus and the belief system that you were given, was not given by people that look like you, was not given to you by melaninated people. It was given to you by a group of white racial imperialist demonic enslavers, okay? They gave you that to spiritually and mentally control you and keep you as a slave for generations, because they put the fear in you that if you don't follow this book, you go into hell. Forget about the hell that you're dealing with on earth right now. Forget about the hell that you're dealing with as far as you'll never see your loved one or your relative again. Forget about the hell that you're dealing with when you get no fair and equitable justice from an inequitable and unfair, savage and barbaric criminal system. Thanks for listening to this message. I am King LiKuiD. Fam, look down in that description box. I've got links to the story from the Dallas Morning News. I have a link to the story from Mohammad Noor. And, this is where we're at, fam. This is one of the reasons why you have so many folks out in the black media, the new black media, that are just pushing black economic empowerment. We need to build and we need to secure what we build, period. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. I am King LiKuiD.